Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ed Miller Stadium for the first round of this year's playoffs. I'm Gavin Rice, joined by Caleb Kazee and Chaz Myers up in the box. Caleb, Chaz, how are you guys doing on this fine evening?
You expect here at Ed Miller Stadium.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting one here tonight. We got Heath coming in. They are sitting at a 6-4 record, I believe. Please correct me if I am wrong. Wheelersburg coming in saying 7-3. Caleb, I'm going to throw this up to you. Last week, Wheelersburg fell to the West Senators by a score of 14-7. Go ahead and talk a little bit about that and tell us what we can expect Burg to go into this game with.
Yeah, last week that was a rough game for Burg. We were met with a pretty hard opponent, honestly, with the West Senators, and they came out, and it was a lot different than what most people really expected here. And yeah, we were trying a couple different things. We're getting the passing game incorporated a lot more, and we didn't know what to really do with that. And West, their offense they were controlling the game really. They had the ball a lot, and the Burg defense was actually playing pretty well, but the Burg offense just couldn't hold up with what the defense was performing out there.
Yeah, it was a tough loss for them, but this is a chance for them to bounce back. Heath's had a struggled this year, but they are young. This is a team that doesn't start many seniors, if any at all. But really quick, before we get into our impact players for the game tonight, currently on the field today, our Division V state champion softball girls are being honored, and it's awesome for a team from this area to be able to pull off the state title. And this group of softball players is really something special. They steamrolled through the playoffs all the way up through Akron and captured their second state title since 2016. And the message I got from a lot of them was, this is just the first of many. So congratulations to those girls. So let's get into it. We're going to talk a little about the impact players. I'm going to throw it back up to Caleb. Caleb, who do we got for the visiting Heath Bulldogs? First, we got their quarterback.
Yeah, so looking at their quarterback, number 10, Braylon Bales, this is a quarterback that he can run the ball extremely well, and at the same time, he can pass the ball extremely well as well. And, looking at that, that's a dual threat quarterback that Burg has to watch this game. And he's looking at currently 1,543 yards on the year, with 119 completions and 249 attempts. And those are pretty solid stats, especially coming out of a high school quarterback. And so far, 9 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, which in comparison's not too bad. And then looking at
he
defense.
I'll take you on the defensive side here. Their top defender, it's Tanner Patterson. He wears the number 27. Tanner has played a very solid all-around season on the defensive side of the ball. Currently has 79 solo tackles, chip in with 22 assisted tackles. He has 11 TFLs, 2 sacks, and even an interception. He has played very well at that linebacker position for them, and he's definitely one to watch because Wheelersburg loves to run the ball, and he's going to be there to kind of clog up the middle for Wheelersburg. So that's something that they got to watch. Meanwhile, on the other side for Wheelersburg, their offensive player is Ethan Glover. Ethan Glover is the feature back of the Wheelersburg Pirates. He is the workhorse back in the backfield, leads them in rushing yards, leads them in carries as well. He's definitely someone that they're going to rely on to get the offense going today. Caleb, who do we got on the defensive side of the ball for Wheelersburg?
So on the defensive side of the ball, we have number 51, Xavier Stanley. And stat-wise, you might not understand why he's the spotlight for tonight's game, but looking at the role that he plays on this defense, you would understand because we're looking at a offense that kind of relies on this pass, and on top of that, we have Xavier Stanley, which is rushing off the edge and through the middle a lot, and he's getting pressure on this quarterback, and that's what we're expecting to see tonight. And he's definitely a player to watch as he is, such that big player for this defense on that line.
Thank you, Caleb. So we're going to take a quick break here as I'm joined by our head official tonight. I'm sure he's excited for the game, but we're going to head it over to the hill here.
Really excited.
We're going to head over to the hill here as the band is getting ready to commence the Death March. So we will take a break. We'll be right back here on the field.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin. The life lessons that interscholastic athletics can teach kids are so much more important than wins and losses and will stay with them long after their playing days are over. Discipline, teamwork, sportsmanship, integrity, getting along with others, and overcoming adversity can all be learned through school sports. The lessons that these student athletes learn through sports today will help them be prepared for the wins and losses of life tomorrow.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Why do they officiate? For some, it's a way of staying involved in a sport they grew up with. For others, it's a way to pay it forward by helping kids who play today and tomorrow. It's also a great way to stay active, make extra money, and work with friends. And all of them will say it boils down to one thing: the love of the game. Find your reasons and log on to ohsaa.org to find out how to become an official. You'll be glad you did. This is the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Educate through sports.
Hi, I'm Beanie Wells. Whatever the sport, wherever it's played, there's one thing that student athletes, coaches, and fans can all share: sportsmanship. The Ohio High School Athletic Association Respect the Game campaign reminds us that school sports are so much more than wins and losses. On behalf of the OHSAA, let's all do our part to make school sports a fun, positive, and rewarding experience that student athletes will remember for a lifetime. Every game, every time, let's all respect the game.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Welcome back here to the field. We're going to talk a little bit about what we got going on in the bracket for the game, for what we got going on elsewhere here in Division 5, Region 19. We got the game here tonight, which is the 6 versus 11. On the other side of our game, we have number 3, Barnesville, taking on number 14, Piketon. Piketon, coming off their best season in program history last year, have kind of regressed a little bit, falling all the way down to a 14 seed. So that's tough for them as well. In the bracket, I believe top-seeded Ironton will be playing Minter later tonight. We also have, on the other side of that, it is Union Local and Portsmouth. That is the 8 versus 9 game. Caleb, who do we got on the opposite side of that, in that 5 versus 12 and 3 versus 14 game?
Yeah, so for that, we're looking at Portsmouth West versus Northwest and Columbus Academy versus Centersburg. Portsmouth West, of course, beating us last week, and Northwest so far, and Portsmouth West also being the SOC champs. And then Northwest coming off of I wouldn't say great, but a mediocre season, saying they did make the playoffs. And that will be a tough matchup for them. And then Columbus Academy and Sinnersburg. Sinnersburg's coming in as the higher seed, as the high-ranked team. But, I mean, it's hopefully still should be a good game. Columbus Academy also made the playoffs, but we are looking at a 16-player.
Anything can happen in football, so
That is true. We're
I guess
looking
we'll
at a
see.
16-team playoff bracket. So,
Yeah, I think something interesting to talk about with these games is there are 16 teams now in the playoffs. So that is something interesting that they went through. But as I can hear over the speaker, they're getting ready to commence the death march. So I'm going to throw it up to the hill, and we'll take a look at what they're doing up there.
Am I back yet?
All right, so that was the infamous Death March. Now, Caleb, I believe that we have a little information on how the Death March, I don't know if we have any information on how it came to be, but we have a little bit on the history of it here at Wheelersburg. So, Caleb, take it away.
I actually do not have the. I believe we left. I believe we. Okay, we've got it here. Never mind. Sorry, couldn't find it. So yeah, the Death March actually began in the 1970s and it was continued all the way up until 2002. But um, the new band director, Mr. Bender here, he actually brought it back, and the last home game, which was against Valley, which we had also streamed, they brought it back for that game, and I believe that it will now be a tradition that will continue once again and keep going.
Yeah, it's very cool that they brought something back like that. I mean, it's nice to have kind of our own thing that we do, and we did it for so many years. I mean, since the 1970s all the way up to 2002, we did it for a long time. But now that we're able to kind of bring it back, it's kind of cool that we're able to find our identity. As we have a couple walk by here. Haven just let it, so go ahead, you're good. But yeah, it's something cool that they are able to bring back. But let's get back into the groove of things here. So let's go ahead and preview the game that we got tonight. So Heath versus Wheelersburg, 6 versus 11. It's a game where we expect Wheelersburg to come out on top. However, like we said, any given Friday night. So Caleb, what are your thoughts on tonight's game?
This might sound a little biased, but I've got Berg winning it. Yeah, I'm hoping they win it. I believe that the Berg running game, if it does get in rhythm, you know, then it'll be a unstoppable force really. And then, but at the same time, Heath does have a very strong passing offense, and we haven't seen Berg face this passing offense a lot.
All right, so we're going to get in. The band seems like we're getting ready to go on the field, so we're going to go to the pregame show. We'll be right back to the pick'em show after that. So we'll be right back.
We live in a country with freedoms like no other. Please remain standing and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem.
Welcome back here as we're going to get into our Pick'em show as we kind of got sidetracked there with talking about the game, but we're going to go ahead and get into it. So we're going to have a couple quick picks here outside of the region. We're going to have a couple quick picks here outside of the region. Caleb, I'm going to let you go first. Chaz, you can follow him, and I'll end it out with the pick. All right, first game. We got the Notre Dame Titans heading to the Green Bobcats. New turf for the Bobcats this year. Caleb, what do you got?
I've got green.
I've also got green.
Throw it out there. I'm taking green in this game. I just like the odds better in that game.
Yeah, green at home on that new turf. I don't see them losing. I mean, they finally got a home playoff game here in Division 7. I think that's going to be their big game to kind of a statement to them. Next, we got Valley heading to Allen East. That is a 3 versus a 14 matchup, Valley being the latter. Caleb, who you got?
As much as I would love to take Valley, I've got Allen East. Allen East, a really good football team, and I just don't see it.
I've also got Allen East.
Yeah, this is Allen East's game to lose. Valley, I want to say, it will be closer than people think because Allen East is a very good team, but Valley has played a very tough schedule, and they've been surging as of late. Overtime, 2 overtimes last week against Midford, 2 close games versus West and Wheelersburg the 2 weeks before. Division 6, they might give Allen East a run for their money, but I'm going to still pick Allen East. Up next, we got 16-seeded Waverly heading to Cincinnati, Wyoming. I feel like this one's pretty easy. Chaz, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I got Cincinnati, Wyoming in this one.
Yeah, I've got Cincinnati, Wyoming. I think the name's cooler.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Cincinnati, Wyoming. I think Cincinnati, Wyoming takes this fairly easy. Waverly's having a down year, so it's going to be tough for them to pick up a win. Next, South Gallia heading to East. I'm going to go ahead and take this pick right away. I think East is going to win this game. Home playoff game for an SOC1 school. They're going to come out and support their boys out there in Sideville. East wins big.
Yep, I'm agreeing with Gavin there. Not really going to call an upset on that one.
Yeah, I'm also going to take East.
All right. Well, you want to talk about upsets? Let's go to the region. 16-seeded Minford against Ironton. I've heard you guys talking about this one a little bit. Chaz, you got a pick for this one, don't you?
Yeah, I got Minford in this one. I just think everyone loves an upset, so I'm just going to go with Minford in this one.
As much as I'd love to agree with you on that one, I'm taking Ironton. I'm going with the algorithm on that. I'm taking Ironton.
Yeah, I'm going to say Ironton wins by a lot of touchdowns tonight. Not that I have anything against Minford, but Ironton is a very good football team. On the other side of that, we got 8-seeded Union Local hosting Portsmouth. Caleb, who you got?
I'm taking Portsmouth on this one. I think it's gonna be a close game. They're close seeded, and I'm staying local with it. I'm going Portsmouth.
I've also got Portsmouth in this one.
Looks like we got a clean sweep. I'm taking Portsmouth. Remember, Union Local beat our girls in basketball last year to knock them out of the tournament. Portsmouth is going to get revenge for the region, beat them in football this time. All right, next we got 15-seeded Megs taking on Harvest Prep. We saw Harvest Prep last year. Caleb, what do we think?
Don't get me wrong, Meeks has a cool name, but I'm going Harvest Prep on this one.
Also going Harvest Prep.
Yeah, Harvest Prep, it would take a miracle for them to lose this one, to be honest. But all credit to Megs. You make the playoffs here. You deserve to be there any given Friday night, but I don't see a way Harvest Prep loses. Next, we got West Muskingum traveling to Fairland. Caleb, who you got?
I'm going with Fairland. I don't want to try and say the other name.
I'm also going to go Fairland here.
Actually, I'm going to take West Muskingum. Fairland has had a very up and down year. They had a bad loss to Portsmouth earlier in the season, 34-0. I think I'm going to take West Muskingum in an upset. All right, next we got the battle of the SOC2 champion and the SOC1 champion. Northwest traveling to the west side. Caleb, who you got?
This is completely unbiased, and this has nothing to do with the fact that West beat Burg last week, but I've got Northwest winning this week. I think they're the better team, yeah.
I got West.
Yeah, West is going to win this one, and that's just a factor of West is the bigger school. But here's the test for Northwest. They won the SOC1 this year. They're coming up to the SOC2 next year. This is their test. This is to see how they're going to fare against a pretty darn good SOC2 school. All right, next, Columbus Academy traveling to Centerburg. Caleb, make this a quick one. Who you got?
Centersburg.
Centersburg.
Throwing it out there.
Yeah, I'm taking Centersburg. I just don't think Columbus Academy has it like they usually do. All right, let's go to the other side of our little quadrant here. Piketon going to Barnesville. Barnesville, they have a good record, but the competition they played has kind of been iffy. But when you go undefeated, you sure earned it. Caleb, who you got?
I'm taking Piketon for one reason only, and that's for the chance of having a home game next week.
I'm going to go Barnesville. I just don't see how they can lose this game.
Yeah, I think Barnesville is definitely the better team. So Barnesville takes this one, but I think it will be close. All right, finally, game of the week, at least here, number 6, Wheelersburg against number 11, Heath. As Enter Sandman starts playing. Caleb, who you got?
This might be a wild card. I'm going to throw it out there. I'm taking Wheelersburg. Yeah.
I'm taking Burg, but I think it'll be really close.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree in the fact that I think it's going to be Burg by a lot. I think this Wheelersburg team is angry. They're not happy with how last week went. They're going to come out here. They're going to bounce back. They're raring to go, and you can see it. They're coming out of the locker room right now. They are absolutely raring to go. So that's going to wrap up. That's going to wrap up our Pick'em Show. Real quick, if you are watching on YouTube, if you are here with us on YouTube, we are not streaming the game on YouTube. Go to burgsportsnetwork.com with Huddle Sports. Link in the description of this video. You can watch the game there. It is $8 pay-per-view. Just a reminder, it is $10 to get into this game. So it is cheaper to watch it with us. Caleb, Chaz, any final thoughts before we head to the game?
Well, let's just enjoy some football. See if Burg can win this game and maybe get a home game next week.
Yes, sir.
A lot of energy here tonight. That's going to wrap it up here. At least for me, I'm going to send it up to Chaz and Caleb in the box. Appreciate you guys letting me join you for this one. We're going to break. Coming up next, Wheelersburg versus Heath in the first round of Division 5 Region 19 playoff. We'll be right back.